Hello, my name is Abby Stoltz, and today I am going to be doing a self-monologue about what I learned throughout this philosophy course and what I think my new perspective on philosophy is, because obviously coming into this course, I kind of really didn't think much of it. I'm like, oh, philosophy, it's just like questions kind of stuff. You're questioning yourself, you're questioning kind of others, and it's like really what you think of yourself, but I learned that there's a lot more to it. You can ask questions, and those questions can get deeper. It's a lot of self-thought, and I feel like it's a lot more what you believe in and what your values and your beliefs are. One of the biggest things that I personally believe now about philosophy, that no matter what question you ask to yourself or to other people, that there can always be a lot of answers for it, and I think there's infinite possibilities that question can be answered, because everybody has their own perspectives like on life, their values and their beliefs. So that's something that I truly took away from this, is then that's something that I will believe in now. I'll believe that there's multiple and a lot of opportunities, questions, and anything that can just arise from a simple statement from anybody. And I think, like I said, moving forward, it's going to just change my perspective, even just with like everyday tasks and like what I'm doing with my life, and just I'm going to have that different perspective. And so that's one thing like I said before, that I really took away, and that's something that what philosophy means to me now. It's just much more than what's on the outside. You have to think really deep, and think what you really want to think about, and just really get deep into it, because there are so many opportunities and so many other questions that can come from something. And I'm very thankful now that my mind can think in a different way, because it changes my perspective on everything. And that is something that philosophy does show you. Also, something that I do and believe that what philosophy means to myself is that people are afraid to try new things, and they're kind of too scared to step out of their comfort zone, because when they're comfortable, they don't want to do something else, because they're in fear that it's going to hurt them or harm them. And something that relates to what we covered in course, to what I just said, is Plato's allegory of the cave again. When the one prisoner came back and said he saw that brightness and the light outside, he came back and told the other prisoners, but the other prisoners were too scared. They liked the dark. They were too scared to go out there and get blinded by the sunlight. So this kind of just shows that I related back to that some people are too afraid to try new things, and are too afraid to step out of their comfort zone. So what I take from this, like I said, what philosophy means to me, is that philosophy means you should go out there and take those steps. You should go out there and do those things, because you're going to only at the end of the day, you're yourself, and you need to go out and do what's best for you. Because if you stay trapped in that tiny little world that you have that you think is safe, you're never going to discover these new things around you and what's going on outside the world around you. Something else that I really took away from philosophy, and something that I think what philosophy means to me, is knowing reality and the existence of everything that's going on around you. That's something that I really sticks with me, and that's something that I personally do think what philosophy is too, because you need to know what's going on around you, and there's a lot more that's going on around you, like I said before, than you think. And that is, again, with the whole existence thing. You think you're existing in this perfect world, and you're doing all this kind of stuff, but there's so much other stuff that's going on around you. There's so many bad things, good things that are happening. So being able to know that you're in this reality of yourself existing, and that there's so much other stuff that can happen to you, I think is something that I really I like, and that's just something that I took away from this course, and that's something that will stick with me again too, and that's what I think goes along with what I think philosophy means to me. Therefore, I do believe that what philosophy means to me is that you can always question yourself. You always got to think deeper. There's questions that can be asked about anything and any single topic that you have, that you need to know that there's more going on around you outside the world that you live in, and then there's that reality that you live in, but then there's also other things. Like I said, there's that whole world around you, and those are two things that I find are very, very strong and important, and that I think that generally that's what philosophy means to me. And another thing is too, that you need to step out of your comfort zone, because like I said, you can't live that you only think that there's this one life. There's so much more out there, like I said before, and you do need to go explore that, and you got to step outside of your comfort zone. So that's a few things that I personally took away from this class, and it just overall made me really, really, really think harder in certain situations, because it get everything that you would read and anything that you can ask your questions just gets you deeper and deeper into thought, which can be a good or a bad thing. And I laugh at that, just because sometimes if you think really deep, you can start to think negatively and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, like I said, it just really, you gotta really start asking yourself those deeper questions, because then you'll start to develop these new perspectives on life. And I think that is something that is very, very important to anybody. And that was my biggest thing of what I think what philosophy means. Thank you for listening to my little monologue of what I think philosophy is and some examples that I tied into the course, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.